Hi, I'm Hendrik. Today we're making Luxembourgish Fueskichelcher. So what are Luxembourgish Fueskichelcher, you might wonder? They're more or less a bit like a donut. They're a Luxembourgish version of donuts, you could say. There are many different, donut type recipes in Europe and in America, obviously. And Fueskichelcher are the Luxembourgish version, typically served around February for the carnival season. So it's a fantastic, really popular treat that all kids love, and I really used to love it as a kid. So I'll show you how to make it. So we've got our dry ingredients here: 200 grams of plain flour and 50 grams of corn flour or corn starch, 3 tablespoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now it's all a bit rough, so we're going to just sift it into a bowl to get rid of all the lumps. There we go. So it's nice and fine now, you can see. And then we're going to add in our butter. Now we have to make sure that your butter is at room temperature. It has to be really soft so you can work it with your hands. We're going to need 75 grams of this, and I'm using salted butter. I quite like using slightly salted butter for bacon, then you don't have to add a pinch of salt if you already use salted butter. So 75 grams. Look. So that's 75 grams. And I'll put it into the mix, and I'll just cut it up a bit, and I will mix it in with my hands in a second. So just use your fingers to mix in the butter until it's well combined. Our butter's all mixed in, and it should be a nice crumbly texture like this. Now I'm just creating a well in the middle, and I'm putting in our 3 eggs. Okay, I don't know why, but the recipe I got says you need to add 1 teaspoon of cream to this. I suppose you could also use milk, whatever you want. The recipe I've got is from Ketty Tull's Luxembourgish book on Luxembourgish cuisine. And it's a very good book, but yeah, sometimes it's weird stuff like this, and I don't really know why, but yeah, there we go. Also need a drop of vanilla essence. You can also use vanilla sugar instead of just using normal sugar, but some vanilla. A few drops. That's it. And now just mix with a fork until combined. So, now that dough is combined, it's still a bit wet, so we're just going to add some flour to shape it into a ball, and then we're going to put it into Tupperware and into the fridge to rest for half an hour or so to firm up a bit. After half an hour, we're going to take out our dough out of the fridge. That's nice and firm. So I'm just going to put some flour on the work surface. Get some flour everywhere, and then I'll roll it out. So you want to roll out your dough into a square, trying to get it as square-like as possible. That will do. It's very forgiving dough. First, cut your rectangle in half. And then we're going to cut little strips. Now this doesn't look like much, but it will be plenty. The dough will puff up nicely whenever we deep fry it. So take one of your strips, try to get some flour on so that it doesn't stick. And then roll a bit. And then very gently make a knot. There we go. And that will puff up really nicely. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it doesn't have to look perfect now, because whenever we deep fry it, it puffs up really nicely. So now we can actually cook our wee Fueskichelcher, or also Verwuerelter as they're known, probably because they're shaped like knots. So we've got really hot sunflower oil there. I'm gonna put them in like that. There we go. And you can put it in one after the other, and just be careful, you know, just keep an eye on them and turn them around, and whenever they're golden brown, take them out, and that's it. So these two here are ready, they're nice and golden brown as you can see. So I'm just going to fish them out. I'm going to put them on a cooling rack. There's a kitchen cloth underneath to soak up the oils. There we go, our first two Fueskichelcher, or also known as Verwuerelter. You can obviously use whatever utensils you like for turning over, but the wee chopstick is actually pretty handy. So that's our Fueskichelcher more or less done. You can eat them like that if you want to, nice and warm. But normally you put some icing sugar over them. So here we are, our finished Fueskichelcher. They are amazing and they look really nice. They're a bit more rustic, obviously because they're homemade. But hey, that's the charm of homemade food. So we really hope you're going to give this recipe a try, because it's, you know, one of these things we grew up with and we really enjoyed, and they're just really absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to try one now. Really crispy outside, but so soft in the middle. Really good.